Welcome back to the big boy. So mea culpa time, I guess. We're looking at Battle for Normandy, and it is the AM turn. In fact, close to the end of the AM turn. I just got to move these Germans here and see if they want to do some combat, and then we're done for the AM turn. Now, what I have realized is in my enthusiasm to provide a wide variety of content for us to watch during the COVID-19, Wuhan, you name it, you call it whatever you want, flu virus season that we are in, our shelter in place situation, in my enthusiasm to play multiple games, and some of which are complex, I have not done myself any favors with my gameplay in this particular title. And in particular, the 12th SS, which was supposed to come on the 7th, I had placed them right here, right next to that little unit right there, with a little, oh yeah, we're going to bring those guys on. It's going to be great. And promptly got focused on other things. And really what they should have done, if we go have a quick look at the history books, we can see that they were pretty instrumental in slowing down the capture of Khan here, and could beat up on the British airborne here, and make a mess, basically. Now, what I have done instead, because when I was looking at the map, I'm like, man, I've got no units. This is brutal for the Germans. I can't believe they held Khan so long. Well, now we know why. So I raced Leah into here, and 12th SS. Sorry, is that right? No, not 12th SS. What's the other formation here? 21st Panzer into the breach. And they've done a good job. We have recaptured one of the hexes that we lost. We have unfortunately had to give up two, and we could not dislodge this one this turn. But we've also pushed forward pretty aggressively around here. And what I decided to do in a absolutely ahistorical manner, because hey, at this point we are off the rails and having fun. I used strategic movement to move to Villers-Bocage with the, that's these guys here, to this location here, move the 12th SS, then further up into Tilly here, primarily because there was a dearth of units in this area, and this formation, which is I think it's the 51st, is it? Or the 50th, that's one of the two. Hello, yeah, 50th English formation there, the division, 50th Division, which I think fought in Africa as well. But they were starting to manhandle the forces in Bayeux, whatever it's called here, Bayeux. And so we thought, let's do something different. Let's bring the 12th SS up through here. And this is about where they could get to, assuming uninterrupted movement on the night of the 7th, with a strategic half move, and then moving the full turn of the 8th. And then the night of the 8th, they would get roughly here. And we actually rolled for some recon by fire, air attacks and things like that. So they lost a step or so. So I think we've righted the wrongs for the Germans, and we've got all the units that should be on the board. They're just not in the places they may have been historically, and I'm not fussed by that. It was disappointing to realize the magnitude of my error. Usually when I make mistakes, they're medium to small sized, not massive. So with all that in mind, as I started looking at the resources, I thought, well, now I don't have to panic about this area here so much. So the rush to sort of reinforce St. Lo to the left, and I pulled the 243rd out of Cherbourg, the peninsula over there, and I had bumped the camera. I'm holding the stand in my hand, so I had started moving the 243rd down this way, and Well, now they've done a reverse. They're doing a Diolon. They're doing the classic march one way, then march back. Napoleonic Wars, whatever battle that was, Contrebar and Ligny, they had one corps that had spent the day marching backwards and forwards on the same road. So that's what those guys are doing. So they're now moving back to take on 4th Division and reinforce Cherbourg. And I'm bringing the small and very weak 77th. We're bringing these folks over here to support the 17th SS, and the Fallschirmjägers are going to reinforce Carentan there, and we'll kind of go for it from there. So that's a little bit of an update. This should be video number 4, I believe, if all things are equal. And what's happened here is I realized I have been chewing through a lot of supply doing attacks, and I've decided to be a little more circumspect because I don't believe we're going to get Cherbourg quickly. I've been stymied in the last couple of attacks over in this area. Very slow going, swapping a step for a step. And we've also have a backlog of units trying to come onto the board. Similarly here, I've split the big red one and the 29th up, and we've got the 29th going this way, and the big red one is coming down here. This is a VP location. You'll note that the map is split here because I bumped this folding table and it moved everything. So there's actually, maybe I'll give the Americans double VPs because there's a city hex here and there's a city hex here, but it's the same city. So I've got to bring all these guys up. They were slowed down as well. So we're having a bit of a rough time at the moment. And that's also led me to conclude that we might be it might be more advantageous for the 17th SS to press up and maybe try and give a little trouble to the beleaguered 29th. They're pretty strong units, but I think we can chip away at them a little bit. I really think that as the Germans looking at this terrain, there are places where you can take advantage, and if you've got an engineering unit or two, start building some entrenchments here and making life really difficult off the beach for the Americans. I know they're going to get a lot of forces, but once they start doing these multi-hex attacks, those multi-hex attacks cost more and more supply points. And if you want to use extra air, you want to use an extra artillery unit, if you're eligible to, then they all cost extra supply when you use the graduated, or whatever it's called, graduated supply rules, which I quite like. Makes more sense, right? We should be paying for using that air, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, we've got a limited amount of supply coming in. We've got a significant amount going out. And at some point, assuming that this runs through June, all of June and all of July, or parts of July, we're going to be run pretty lean, particularly if we get some bad weather and the mulberries either A, take a long time to build, which they are. I've rolled a 1 and a 2 for both units, for both mulberry bridges so far. Very disappointing. And what was my other point? Oh, and then there's also the chance of a storm that will blow away or destroy them, and that will reduce my supply intake significantly. If they stay up, then supply is not as big a problem. We can, we'll get the extra points. It'll be good. Anyway, thought I'd give a quick little update since I've been sort of grinding away here, sans video, trying to work out how I wanted to handle things and what I wanted to do. And maybe we'll pop up a little live stream sometime tomorrow. I'm not working too much tomorrow, so we'll try and get some stuff going. So stay tuned on the YouTube channel and look for, if you're not subscribed, please do, and you will receive a notification when I'm about to go live. All the very best.